Hello, fellow crappers. This is Matthew Ian Camarco from Craptastic Cinema and craptasticcinema.com. And today is actually kind of our first video review blog that we're doing for the website. Um, you could blame laziness. That's why I haven't done more of these. But I kind of like this whole concept. I mean, I have the camera, I have the microphones, I got the movies. I mean, heck, you can see some of them right behind my shoulder here. Working with a mirror. Don't mind me. Again, new to this. But I got, so many movies here. Plus, we got the website. So this will be a nice way for you to get a visual version of our website, as well as the text version that's been in existence since, I think we've been running it since 2012. Well, this one we're going to be talking about one of my favorite, actually, possibly my absolute favorite horror movie franchise. We're talking about the Halloween series, if you couldn't figure it out from the title of the video below. The Halloween movie franchise actually came out in 1978, the original one did, directed by John Carpenter, one of the best horror movie directors of all time. He also directs really good science fiction movies and a couple vampire films too, so, check out his movies all in all. And the most recent one came out in 2009. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because coming up in a few short weeks, point of reference, today is September 1st, 2014, so in a few short weeks from the time I filmed this video, there's going to be a really cool collectible box set coming out. It's going to be the Blu-rays for the entire franchise. The early films are going to get a really good HD remaster of them. Again, it's going to be a single collection that contains all the films, but it's also going to have some of the versions of the films that up to this point have only been available in limited editions or in the bootleg world. And we'll kind of talk about some of those as we go down the list. So, sit back, relax, and let's talk about some Halloween movies. We're going to start with number 10. And number 10, this may surprise some people because I did do a Yahoo list. Actually, I didn't do a Yahoo list, I did a Facebook list. See, fantasy football's on my head right now. September 1st, Yahoo. Anyway, I did a Facebook list where I asked people to rank their favorite to worst Halloween movies, and pretty much universally everyone said the same worst Halloween movie. The one I picked at number 10 isn't that one. And also, before I show this one, because this is a review video, expect spoilers, okay? Sorry, just expect it, All right, coming in at number 10, Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween Part 2. This is the one that came out in 2009. This is the most recent Halloween movie, and it sucks. It's crap. I don't even really want to give a reason why. Really, if you avoid any Halloween movie, avoid this one. It makes no sense to the series. Couple spoilers that really make it stand out bad is Michael Myers gets these hallucinations of a pale white horse and his mother, who is kind of like an angel telling him to do the murders that he does on a regular basis. Kill your sister, join us in heaven. Oh yeah, Michael Myers, he kills his family members. That's what he's after. He's after his family and anyone who gets in the way of him killing his family. In case you didn't know that. Another thing that's horrible about this movie is Michael Myers, over the course of the entire series, never talks. He never, ever, 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 ever talks. In this movie, he takes off his mask and he talks. And he looks like Zakk Wylde or one of those dudes from Duck Dynasty when he takes off his mask too. Just don't see this movie. It is absolutely crap. It is not worth your time, not worth your effort. Only get this one if you are getting the entire collection. It's not worth an individual purchase. It isn't. You could pick it up for a penny, though, on DVD on Amazon if you ever wanted to. It's crap. Crap, crap, crap. Coming in at number 9, though, is actually a movie that was the 8th movie of the franchise, and this one was pretty much near the bottom of everyone's list. This was either the worst one or the second to the worst one in everybody's list. And as I said, it was the 8th movie in the franchise, Halloween Resurrection. Jeez, getting a horrible glare off the computer. We'll figure out how to figure that out and get rid of that in the next few videos. But Halloween Resurrection. Oh, by the by, they stopped numbering them around Halloween 6, so I'll do my best to remember to tell you which ones they are in the franchise. Halloween Resurrection was actually not that bad of a movie. What makes it bad is this is the one where the rapper Busta Rhymes beats up Michael Myers. That's one of the reasons why this is bad. Tyra Banks is also in this. She's a really crappy actress. But it does also have Jamie Lee Curtis in this one. And the reason why this one is bad is mainly because it didn't need to be made. This is a direct sequel to what was the 7th movie of the franchise, Halloween H2O, which that one was made to be the definitive last movie of the Halloween franchise. It has a great plot, great ending. You get the feeling, okay, Michael Myers is dead. Jamie Lee Curtis came back to the series. It was the end. It was perfect. It did not need to be modified at all. But it was a huge cash cow. I mean, it made a lot of money for the franchise. So, they made a sequel. Changed the fact that Michael Myers didn't die at the end. Brought back Jamie Lee Curtis for a cameo in the beginning. It didn't need to be made. The plot line of this one is actually kind of cool, though. It's Busta Rhymes, he runs like a reality show, but it's internet-based. And he gets a group of kids to spend the night in Michael Myers' house. And if they make it through the night, they win a cash prize. But of course, they all have cameras strapped to their heads so people could watch online, and it gets made into a TV show. Actually, it's very similar to House on Haunted Hill. Huh. House in Haddonfield. It is. It's like the House on Haunted Hill, but for the Halloween franchise. That's kind of cool. I don't know why I never put that together until right now. May have to reevaluate this one. But for right now, it is the 9th worst movie of the series. Worth watching once, you know. It's got a couple good moments. Few good scares in it. Definitely not the worst of the series. Worth owning. Yeah, if you're going to buy the whole franchise, you're definitely going to want to get this one. But again, you're not going to run on out and check this one out first. If this is one of the first ones you see, you'll probably never want to watch another Michael Myers movie. That's all there is to that. Coming in at number 7, and this is going to actually shock some people because this was actually near the top of a lot of people's lists. Coming in at number 7, a whole stack of movies almost fell over there, Halloween Part 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. What makes this one bad? It's not the script. The script's pretty good. The scares are pretty good. The ending's actually pretty good too. What makes this one bad is the acting. The cast they have in this movie is absolutely atrocious. It almost turns the franchise into a comedy. Kind of like how Friday the 13th Part 6, it was all kind of like slapstick. I mean, they even did like a James Bond intro in that one. Figure what they did to that movie is what they did to this one. This girl right here, Danielle Harris, she does actually a very good job in here. She's actually a regular in the series. She's in parts 4, 5, and then she makes a cameo later in her life in another Halloween movie that I'll talk about in a few. In this one, Jamie Lee Curtis's character, actually I should explain something real fast too. There are 2 separate plot lines that go on over the course of the Halloween movies, with the exception of the Rob Zombie films. There's the storyline that takes place in the first Halloween movie and continues in parts 2, 7, and 8. So this is the last movie of a particular storyline. Then the other storylines take place in parts 4, 5, and 6. So this is the middle one of the second storyline. This particular storyline is really what adds a lot to the mythology of the character. It's not bad. If you watch those AMC Fright Fests every Halloween, you'll definitely see this one. This is one of the regular mainstays on there. It's just not that great. Watch it once, watch it a couple times. It's not the worst, it's not the best. That's why I rank it in at number 8. Coming in at number 7, And this is, again, one that a lot of people put higher on their list, but hear me out. Rob Zombie's Halloween. This one came out in 2006 and was supposed to be this would have been the 9th movie of the franchise. But what they did was Rob Zombie went in there and very creatively added in, this is a remake of the first movie. But at the beginning of the film, he really just kind of explored what the childhood of Michael Myers was like. Kind of went into why he wanted to become a serial killer. Not really why he wanted to become a serial killer, but why he did become a serial killer. What his family life was like. It also introduces how he met Sam Loomis, which was his psychologist, which in the original series, parts 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, was played by Donald Pleasance. This one, and also in Halloween 2, is played by why am I drawing it? Malcolm McDowell. I don't know why I drew a blank in his name. Malcolm McDowell. Great as Caligula. Horrible as Dr. Sam Loomis. This movie is actually really well done. The reason why it ranks so low on the list is because after that initial 30 minutes or so where you get to see the young Michael Myers, him going into the psych ward, him meeting Dr. Sam Loomis, it just becomes a shot-for-shot remake. And honestly, if it wasn't so much of a remake, it would have been a lot higher on the list. But because of the fact it is a remake, I just didn't find it in my heart to rank it higher on the list when there are so many more original movies on the franchise here. One thing I will say about this one is that Danielle Harris, the little girl that was in 4 and 5, this is the one where she comes back in and she plays a character. She plays, I forget which one of the friends it was, but one of the main character's best friends, and does actually a really good job. She's possibly the best actress in the series. Or in this particular one. Yeah, that's why it came in number 7. Rob Zombie's Halloween, number 7 on the list. Coming in at number 6 is actually coincidental, the 6th movie of the franchise. Halloween, right here, and what do they call this one? The Curse of Michael Myers. Reason why I had to look at that one right there is because this is one of the ones that actually has 2 versions of the film that came out. Has this one, and then in the bootleg world, they had the producer's cut, which was known as The Origin of Michael Myers. This was actually the way the movie was originally supposed to come out. The original script, everything like that, this was the original movie. What happened, though, was when they filmed this movie, Donald Pleasance died. So the original ending of the movie had his character living and continuing on in various ways, working with Michael Myers. But because he died in real life, they changed the ending of this one, being unsure if they would ever continue again with the character of Dr. Sam Loomis. There's also a lot of different cuts between the two. This movie right here is actually, when I talk about the mythology of the Halloween series, the mythology of the Michael Myers character, 90% of it is established in this movie. It's really good. It's really good. It's the story is basically the events of Halloween's 4 and 5 have came and went. However, Danielle Harris's character Jamie, she gave birth to another baby, which brought back Michael Myers to go out to kill his family once again. He goes back to the town of Haddonfield, Illinois, and at this point in time, the town is so tired of Michael Myers murdering people on Halloween, they decide they don't want to observe Halloween anymore. So it's got this storyline of teenagers rebelling against their parents, which you know in the world of horror movies means they all gonna die. This one's actually really good. Cool thing, producer's cut is going to be in the box set. And it's going to be really nice because this one I got on eBay years ago for like $30. And some of the footage that was put back into the movie is really grainy. The storyline was that the guy actually found it in an archive and he kind of stole the film and had no time or no equipment to remaster it. So you'll see like the clickers on the bottom, you know, the timestamps, the work prints and stuff like that. Apparently they cleaned that all up and that's going to be on the Blu-ray. So can't wait to see that. Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, or The Origin of Michael Myers. Great movie. Great movie. Side note on that, too. First date where I went over and spent the night over at my girlfriend, at the time my girlfriend, currently my wife. First thing we did where we went over and just spent some time together at her house, I brought over that movie, and that's what we did that night, as we watched Halloween 6, among other things. Coming in at number 5, and this is the controversial one. This is the one that everybody told me should be the bottom of the barrel. And why do I have it at number 5? Well, let me explain. Halloween Part 3, Season of the Witch. This is the one that does not have Michael Myers in it at all. Let me explain. When John Carpenter originally made the Halloween movie, he wanted that one to be a title movie. So the sequels will just be random ghost stories, horror movies, supernatural thrillers. That was going to be how it continued on. He didn't want to have Michael Myers be in all these movies. But because of the success of the first film, the producers said, no, we need to make another Michael Myers movie. Because after that came out, that's when Friday the 13th came out. That's when Nightmare on Elm Street came out. So the producer was like, hey, we got Jason, we got Freddy. We got to make another Michael Myers film. So reluctantly, John Carpenter came on. He didn't direct, but he produced the second Halloween movie under the condition that the third film will be based upon his original idea and go back to the annual once-a-year horror movies. By the by, this is the only one I actually currently own on Blu-ray. Matter of fact, this is a better cover. The storyline of this one's actually pretty cool. A small little town in Northern California where my friend Jake actually lives, so I kind of am jealous that he gets to walk around and see all the scenes in this movie. He lives like literally blocks away from wherever every scene in this movie is filmed. There's this Halloween toy manufacturer. He's possibly the biggest masks and practical jokes company in the world. The company's name is Silver Shamrock, and the owner of the company wants to play the ultimate Halloween trick on the children that year. And he convinces them, he has these commercials, hey kids, buy your Silver Shamrock masks, and on Halloween night, be sure to go to your TV and watch the special giveaway. And they got this reoccurring song on it. It's like, doom, ding, doom, ding, doom, ding, doom. 3 more days till Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 3 more days till Halloween, Silver Shamrock. Trust me, you'll get tired of that song by the end of this movie. But it happens all the time in this movie. And what the surprise is, well, there's a little chip in the back of the masks that shoots a beam of light into the kid's head that basically murders them and creates I'm not going to get away. It potentially can murder all the children and also their parents, too, if they happen to be in the same room. Also, the cool thing about this one is it actually has a cool ending to it. A lot of time horror movies, they just add that little last-minute scare, but the good guys always seem to win. As you can tell by the subline right here, the night nobody comes home. Or the night no one comes home. That's a little bit of a spoiler for what this movie is all about. It's good. It is very good. It's not a Michael Myers movie, but it's a very good horror movie. Check it out. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Number 5 on our list. Coming in at number 4 is another quinky dink in numbering, because at number 4 is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. As you could guess, with Halloween 3, fans were furious that there was no Michael Myers in the film. Producers were like, oh, we had such a huge backlash. We gotta make Michael Myers return. So, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. This is also the first one of the Jamie storyline. So this one does have the Danielle Harris character in it, and she is amazing in this movie. She's just a young girl right here who happens to be the only living survivor of Jamie Lee Curtis's character, Laurie Strode. Jamie Lee Curtis, by the by, her character, Laurie Strode, is actually the biological sister or half-sister of Michael Myers. That's how the bloodline happens. In this storyline, Jamie Lee Curtis's character died, and her daughter was put up for adoption, and she was never told about her mother and her connection to Michael Myers. So this one is actually pretty cool. A lot of good scares in this one. I mean, they really amped this up. They said, if we're bringing back Michael Myers, we are going to make him the most badass guy you've ever seen. This movie has got so many great moments in it. It's almost impossible to talk about the greatness of this film. Does it make it to the top three? No, it doesn't make it to the top three. But it is definitely a worthwhile one. You don't want to miss out on this one. This is a good movie. Very good Halloween film. Check it out. Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers. Coming in at number 3, Halloween 2. So as I mentioned earlier, John Carpenter, he did not want to make a second Michael Myers film after the first Halloween movie. So when they proposed it to him, he came in as a producer, and they brought in the director Rick Rosenthal. Actually a pretty good director. I think he's the only one that directed more than one Halloween movie. I think the only other one he did, though, was the atrocious Halloween Resurrection. I think that was his second film. Yeah. Anyway, this one's actually a pretty dang good movie. What this one's about is this actually takes place about 5 minutes after the ending of the first Halloween movie. So this, excuse me there. This movie follows Jamie Lee Curtis's character when she gets taken to the hospital after the events of the first movie. Michael Myers survived the first movie, and he followed her to the hospital. The cool thing about this one, as opposed to the first movie, is that because it all takes place in a hospital, it's a very confined space, and it kind of adds an interesting horror element to it because, again, small quarters, mass serial killer walking around the hallway. At this point in time, since it is only about like 5-10 minutes after the ending of the first movie, there hasn't been any news breaking of the murders. The police are still investigating the murders over at the house, so they're unaware of what's going on at the hospital. People don't really know who Michael Myers is at this point, as opposed to in 4, 5, 6, and movies down the line where people could just, talk to cops and go like, oh yeah, he murdered all those people years ago. No, this was the same night. So it's cool because, again, it's like it continues on. In the box set that's coming out, there's actually going to be an extended cut of this movie, and I will talk more about the extended cuts of this one in a little bit because it ties in also with another movie that's still to come on the list. So coming in at number 3 again, the second Halloween movie. Coming in at number 2, Halloween H2O, 20 years later. This is the 7th movie of the franchise, and the reason why it's ranked so high is because, as I expressed earlier, they wanted to make the definitive last Halloween movie. They spent a lot of money, brought Jamie Lee Curtis back into the storyline. When they did that, this is why there's 2 different storylines. When they brought her back, they had to ignore the storylines of parts 4, 5, and 6, because in those, she's dead. And also in this one, she never had the daughter. She has a son, but they make no reference to Jamie's character at all. So that's why there's a split in the storyline there. In this movie, Jamie Lee Curtis, after the events of Halloween 2, she moved over to California, moved out of Illinois, moved to California, became a headmistress of a prestigious private school. And Michael Myers, he wakes up after 20 years, and he wants his revenge from the events of the first 2 Halloween movies. He tracks her down, drives across the United States, and again, just like in Halloween 2, this all takes place in the confined space of this little private school. Really good scares in this one. Production value is really top-notch. There's some good humor elements to it, but it doesn't overpower the film. It's just really good. Jamie Lee Curtis's character has so much character development over the course of this movie. It's really good. It possibly would be the best movie of the franchise had it not been for the original movie coming in at number 1. None of those would exist if it didn't happen to have this movie come out first. Halloween, 1978, John Carpenter's masterpiece. cool little... Yeah, awesome. This movie is just so good. So good. It was done on a shoestring budget. Michael Myers' mask was actually a William Shatner mask, a Captain Kirk mask that they just cut out the eye holes bigger, spray painted white. At the time, Jamie Lee Curtis was unknown. This was, I think, her first movie. If not, it was one of her first movie. I mean, the daughter of Jamie Curtis and Jamie Lee, or what was her mom's name? Whatever. The one that was in Psycho, and then her dad was Tony Curtis. So it was an unknown actress trying to prove her chops. She stars in this one and is just so good, so good. I can't say enough good things about this movie. The horror elements of these are great. The psychological elements of this movie is just amazing. Because, again, nobody knows what's going on. At this point in time, they haven't set up any mythology. They just established that Michael Myers, as a kid, murdered one of his family members. He escaped a mental institution. He's back in town, and there's a strong chance that he's going to murder his sister. That's all you know as backstory. But they don't even say he's Michael Myers in this one. Literally, they don't say his name at all in this first movie. In the credits, they list him as The Shape. That's why some purists still refer to Michael Myers as The Shape. There's Michael Myers, but when he puts on the mask, he's The Shape. Really cool movie. If you only see one Halloween movie, let it be this one. The way they film this one, a lot of the murders take place off screen, and then they kind of fade down to it so you can see what happens. So it leaves a lot to the imagination. And really, what's the most horrifying feature of your body? It's your imagination. So if you could get a movie that taps into your imagination where you just have to picture to yourself what happened, that's exactly what this did here. Adds so much to the scare elements. Now, this movie had an extended cut. This will be in the box set. Just like in Halloween 2, they will have an extended cut there. What the extended cuts were was when these movies came out, they were, you know, in case they wanted to show them on television, they had to cut a lot of the violence out of the movies. And by doing so, they made the movies too short, so they had to put some new scenes into them to make up for the lack of the violent scenes so that they didn't show too many commercials. So what these extended cuts did, this one was actually an official release. These two actually came together in a box set I bought, or actually not a box set, they were bundled together at Best Buy years ago. So what they did was they took those extended scenes and they actually just put them into the movie, but kept all the violence. So that's what makes these extended cuts. So you'll have this one an extended cut, Halloween 2 as an extended cut. You'll get the producer's cut of Halloween 6. But unfortunately, the full version of H2O is not going to be part of the series. That one is still one that you have to find in the bootleg world. Sorry. Kind of sucks. But there you go. The top 10 Halloween movies from worst to best. What do you think? Should I put Halloween 3 as last place? You have to admit, it's a good horror movie, even if Michael Myers isn't in it. Should I put the Rob Zombie movies up higher? I don't know. Leave a comment down below. Like us. Subscribe to the channel because I will be posting more videos from here. This is so much easier than typing it out. I can knock this out faster than it'll take me to type one of those things in a heartbeat. So expect a lot more of these video reviews. Subscribe. Subscribe to my channel right down there. This is my personal channel, but I will tie them into the Craptastic Cinema as well. And like us over on Facebook, facebook.com/CraptasticCinema. And of course, check out CraptasticCinema.com for more reviews of the best of the worst movies. Brief description of the website. We review movies that everyone else considers the worst of the worst, but we consider them A-OK. We're not talking Citizen Kane, we're talking Battlefield Earth. That's right. Anyway, this has been Matthew Ian Camarco for Craptastic Cinema and CraptasticCinema.com. Wishing you a wonderful evening or day, whenever it is you watch this video. Until next time, see ya.